Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Real Talk with Robbie and Shane, and our guest today, Jamie. We are a couple days removed from San Diego Comic-Con, Nerd Mecca, the hallowed halls of fandom, and one of the most awesome things that comes out of San Diego Comic-Con is new movie trailers. So that today is what we are going to talk about. And first, because primarily the three of us, we are all DC fans, what we're going to talk about first is the big one. The biggest thing that I could have ever imagined, the movie I've been waiting on since I was 3 years old. Gentlemen, Justice League. Now, it's Real Talk with Robbie and Shane, but we defer to our guests when we have them on our episode. So, Jamie, talk to me about Justice League.
So, Justice League was the absolute greatest assembly of anyone ever at any given point in time in one movie trailer. It was amazing. It should win an Academy Award just on
trailers alone.
On trailers alone. And the fact that that's not going to be a category is bull.
I mean, it's what was Ricky Bobby said that Highlander won the Oscar for the greatest movie ever made. Highlander is my favorite movie.
Cheers.
I would move Highlander to second to allow the Justice League trailer to take place.
It hit all the right notes. Every issue I might have had with Batman vs. Superman, because the build-up, there were things I liked in the trailer and there were things I didn't like in the Batman vs. Superman trailer. There is not one thing I do not like about the Justice League trailer. They hit all the right notes. The tone is perfect. The characters, I'm a huge fan of Christian Bale's Batman, and some people aren't. The criticisms, I do understand them. I do get them.
It's Batman voice.
Let's not do that for like an hour. But it does happen. Ben Affleck hits perfect notes in this. And it's everything I want to see in the Bruce Wayne type. I mean, we really only see Batman for a little bit.
Yeah.
He delivers, to me, the definitive Batman line of probably that movie. But perfect. The characters, the Flash, Ezra Miller, phenomenal. Cyborg is the only one I was really disappointed we didn't get to see
a lot more of, yeah.
And then Aquaman is probably going to steal the show. I really do think that that is going to be the character to watch. You had me at whiskey and disappearing into mist.
Absolutely.
That's how I want to die.
Absolutely. And that's just how he exits the scene.
Yeah, that was just perfect. Let me become mist.
Absolutely. Robbie, Justice League.
Again, man, that is something we've been waiting for a long time. They're the old days of just all the DC animation movies. Every time we see Batman and Superman together, I know you and we really go back on this a lot. Why is this not happening as an actual movie? And then there was a time for a short period there where you explained to me that there was a rule in DC within Warner Brothers
that they couldn't play with each other.
Yeah, they had to be on an animated movie if they were ever together. They couldn't be in a live action movie because technically Warner Brothers could somehow sue themselves. I still to this day don't understand, even though you explained it.
Yeah, that was the thing. If Batman would have showed up in Smallville, Warner Brothers technically could have sued itself.
But it seems like I know a lot of people out there are always like, well, Justice League is finally doing what Marvel's been doing, but this is something we've been waiting for a long time. Yeah, the Avengers was cool and everything, and that's what happens when you get to play with the characters that you own. Mm-hmm. It was a kind of they had to pick and choose their characters to make their form of the Avengers.
You're just now getting Spider-Man almost 10 years into the run.
And the thing about Warner Brothers is they have always owned their own characters.
Yes.
So this is the thing of why shouldn't this have happened before? But it's happening now, and it's just a good time to be alive because this movie looks great.
And the Avengers changed things. When the Avengers came out, it definitely changed things. But I really do feel like the assembly of the Justice League is something we haven't quite seen because it's not just a bunch of superheroes coming together. The Avengers, the iconic shot for me in that film is
the circle shot.
The circle shot. And the Justice League, it's going to be entirely different. I don't know what the iconic shot is going to be, but I feel like...
I guarantee you it'll be them standing...
I think it's going to be side by side.
Like the 6 wide.
I think that's going to be it. I think it's going to be that and, obviously... obviously there's a lot they're not showing us. I mean, it's
Right.
pre-footage. I mean, it's
this is sizzle reel. The movie just wrapped shooting like
absolutely
a week or two ago, I think.
But what we're seeing is unique in the fact that I don't think something is. It's not going to be cliche. It's not going to be cliche DC. I think it's going to be something very unique and something that we just have not seen from Warner Brothers and from DC.
No, absolutely. And we've mentioned that. It's funny because both of you mentioned them, and when we're talking about Justice League, and especially the fact that Iron Man came out in 08 and laid the seeds for the Marvel Cinematic Universe that we have now. And we're just now in 2017, almost 9 years later, we're getting to the Justice League. The Avengers are that thing that's going to be in the background. I will say it, and I will probably bleep this, but fuck the Avengers. The Justice League is the thing that I have been waiting on. The Avengers are the pretenders to the throne. That this trailer, it was funny because I was driving, and this is terrible. Nobody should ever do this, but I'm driving, and I just happened to hear that the Justice League trailer's happening.
I think I sent you the message.
Yeah, you sent me the message, and I'm driving down the road with the phone up on the steering wheel. It's a good thing that where we live is a lot of straight shot roads. But I'm watching the trailer, and it's playing through my sound system in my truck. And I squealed like a little girl. It was perfect. It was the only thing missing. And he's going to be in the movie because he's already in the publicity shots. The only thing missing is Superman.
Mm-hmm.
And... we're going to see if the end of the first act of this movie is not Superman coming back, busting out of the grave and being like, I'm back and I'm Superman. And Batman's like, sure, okay, we're in a world now where this is happening, go for it. And like Robbie had mentioned before, hopefully he's in...
Yeah, he's got to come back in the black and silver, man. It's almost a rule because, like when you have Superman and he dies and he comes back, he's always wearing the black and silver. You have to have that. I mean, it's in the Bible. I'm pretty sure Jesus came back wearing black and silver.
That was it. He came out of when he showed back to the apostles and showed them, doubting Thomas, that he had the stigmata in his hands. He was in the black rebirth suit with the mullet and the silver shield. Like, it happened.
And then when he landed, he put on glasses, then nobody knew who he was.
Nobody knew it. That's why he stopped being in the book at that point.
Exactly. and he put on glasses. But that's definitely, I like the absence of Superman setting up the Justice League. I actually love that.
The fact that trailer was so badass without Superman in it.
Well, that also goes back to what they've set up in Batman Superman. You had that whole fight scene ending, and a lot of people give the Martha reveal I think way too much flack, because it seems like if you build off of that, you have him kind of respecting what Superman's done. The end of the movie.
He's definitely Team Superman at the end of the movie.
He totally changes his opinion on Superman. The whole look around, you'll see his monument, that kind of deal. It's like he's kind of building the Justice League for Superman, if you think about it.
He is. So, it's in Superman's legacy. Like, I think that's what Batman, at the end of Batman vs. Superman, Batman is building the Justice League in Superman's legacy. Like, this is, we lost the greatest protector that Earth has. Let me build a new one.
And Batman clearly makes, Batman vs. Superman comes from a point that Batman is clearly making a mistake.
Absolutely.
And I think Batman is obsessed. Like, I like this older Batman who is obsessed. I like the obsession. But I think when he realizes that he's made that mistake, the Justice League is his way of fixing it.
Yes.
It's his redemption.
And the thing about Superman, and the fact that he is absent, but, everybody's thinking about Superman. I mean, regardless, a lot of people like to put Superman and Batman against each other, which is a farce because Batman is clearly better. However, not in jest. Sorry, Derek. Not in jest, but Superman is really the glue. I mean, he really is the glue of the DC universe.
You don't get to any DC character without Superman.
Absolutely. And Superman, I really do feel like Henry Cavill, Superman, did get the shaft in Batman vs Superman.
I'd like to see Superman smile.
Yeah, 40-some lines. That's
something like
46
that.
lines. That's unacceptable. It's absolutely unacceptable. We don't need doom and gloom Superman.
No.
We need Superman that means hope. I don't give a shit what the S means. I want Superman to mean that. I want
Absolutely.
Superman to overcome the odds, like a certain person that we all talk about.
John Cena!
But I do want Superman to do that because that's what he does. You know, I think we were talking earlier today. Superman Returns. You know, his villain was a giant island.
Yeah, he lifted a rock in the third act. He didn't throw a punch.
And that's not that's not worthy of Superman.
No.
You know, Superman is the guy when it gets entirely too tough, he finds a way.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's his heart and soul.
Not to
It's
go
80%
into like you made it. Superman is your John Cena. Like there's a
He
reason
is,
that we
absolutely.
actually play with that like silly thing, but John Cena overcomes the odds. When John Cena is the whole everything is against him, John Cena finds a way, wins, and rallies the fans and the crowd and everybody behind him. That's what Superman should be doing. Superman
Absolutely.
should be building everything behind him because that's the man in the sky that we look to. That is our savior. That is our hope. And it's not just I'm going to sit down here and hope that Superman saves me. It should be Superman's an awesome dude, so I should be the most awesome dude that I can be.
Absolutely. And I think when me and you when we saw Man of Steel, you did go with
Yes.
it. Yeah.
We
We
did
had
very
that.
early premiere.
Well, yeah, we had that conversation about the whole hope scene because we were kind of making fun of it. It was like clearly it's an S, but at the same
Overman.
time, like that scene right there, in my opinion, is the best scene in that film.
It is.
Yeah.
Because it's, you know, he's not explaining himself. He's not really like justifying. He's basically just saying, you know, I don't know. It's kind of like the filmmakers were saying, you know, put some faith in me. Well, DC put some faith in this guy because that's what you need to do. You know, Batman, you can rest on Batman's laurels, but Superman has to have his own thing going, and you have to make it the Superman show. You
Mhm.
absolutely have to make it the
It's kind of
Superman
what they
show.
did with Smallville, even though I know Smallville was all over the place in some of the seasons and things got really weird. But if you strip that show down to its core, you had just Clark on the farm,
Right.
being a typical good guy, the person that everybody would hope to be, you know, always doing the right thing. He just had so much heart and soul in that show.
Right.
And that scene that Jamie was just talking about, you know, he's like, hey, this is what I stand for. It's almost like everything that was good about Smallville was in that scene for me.
It was absolutely. And one thing I really love about this trailer, a lot of the criticisms of Man of Steel and Batman Superman were that it's dark, it's not hopeful, it's not joyful, it's not, you know, we watch The Avengers and it's funny, it's bright, it's colorful, it's a comic book. And the DC universe so far has seemed like, well, they're coloring with blacks and browns and grays, and we're not playing with a good color palette. But that first picture that came out of the Justice League with Superman in it, it's bright, it's
Yeah,
backlit,
it's like they
it's
know.
colorful.
DC's heard, you know, everything that everybody's saying about, oh, DC is dark and gritty, and, you know,
The trailer is
hardcore.
funny.
Yeah, you have Bruce cracking jokes, you know, the
Yeah,
whole,
every line Batman has in the movie or in the trailer, except for the "I'm real when it's necessary," is a joke.
Yeah, and it's like you actually see more Bruce Wayne than you see Batman.
And I like that.
And it seems like, in that right there goes back to what I was talking about. His attitude has clearly changed.
Yeah.
I mean, even the quote at the end, you know, I'm real. What is it? I'm real.
I'm real when it's necessary, or something like that.
I mean, that's the thing that people tend not to get about Batman is like, you know, Bruce Wayne. You know, you've got the quote in Batman Begins that strikes me from Alfred is like, your father nearly bankrupted Wayne Enterprises. You know, that's technically what Bruce Wayne does in the comic. Like, Bruce Wayne is still, you know, still a philanthropist. He's still that kind of person. On the flip side of that, Clark Kent is still a good guy. You know, he's a reporter. He's writing stories. You know, he's not as successful at writing stories as like Lois Lane, obviously,
Right.
or something like that. But this is his job, and he's doing it to, you know, as journalism. Like, he's just doing that to be that type of symbol. But he gets kind of the luxury of being able. I don't know if it's a luxury for him, but he gets to be able to peel off that suit and go fly and actually mean something to the world in that context too. So
when he's not diving into bathtubs with Lois Lane,
and
is what I would spend most of my time doing if I were Superman.
I'm gonna say it. If you're Superman, you find women in bathtubs. That's what you do. But the Batman, like the Bruce Wayne thing, I really like because I do feel like I wanted to see more of the dichotomy between, or really just dissect the relationship between Bruce and Clark.
Oh, absolutely.
Not Batman and Superman, because we know what's coming there.
Yeah.
Right? But Bruce and Clark, because they're different, but they're a lot alike too. They have almost the same kind of goals with what they're trying to do. They just have different means to get there.
And I think you get a lot of that with the end of Batman and Superman, and with what we've seen in the trailer here with Clark and Diana, or with Bruce and Diana.
Absolutely.
Them talking at the end, them having that little joke to where it's like, so he'll fight with us?
More or less.
More or less. And you know, that whole like, he said no, he said no. Like, they're playing, like, you're seeing these people build relationships behind the mask, which is something that the Marvel movies did so well.
Absolutely. Yeah. And Ezra Miller, you know, the Flash I think that's kind of going to be, obviously he's going to be the comic relief.
Absolutely.
But also, like, you know, that's what he's talking about. The Justice League, if nothing else, are friends.
Yeah,
like
the Super
They
Friends.
don't start off that way. Yeah,
they're the Super Friends.
They don't start
That's
off
Super
that way. I mean, you have Batman like, yeah, I'm going to write down how to kill this person just in case. Because that's Batman. That's what Batman does.
Right.
He plans for everything.
It's like doing the whole oh no, Harley.
But they are friends. They absolutely are friends. And I think that point in the, you know, it's not a pointless scene with Flash. Like, I need friends. They all do.
Yeah.
Everybody
That's
needs friends.
the thing. Like, you know, we can sit here all day. There's no denying Batman is our favorite character of all time between all three of us here at this table.
Yeah.
And, you know, we could sit here and sing the praises of Batman all day. Superman, close second. But this trailer, you get to see Aquaman, Wonder Woman,
Aquaman
Flash.
still, this movie will make Aquaman
Mm-hmm.
like, Aquaman thus far, and they even have the little joke at the end, like, I hear you talk to fish. Like, Aquaman's like, oh, he's the guy that talks to fish. No, this Aquaman's a whiskey drinking, like, mist disappearing, like,
It's
no,
like,
this
you
Aquaman.
don't go up to this Aquaman and make a joke.
No, because
unless
Batman
you are
slams him up
Batman
and-
or
yeah.
Superman, because they could probably get away with that. But if we go up and say that's a Khal Drogo,
Yeah.
it's not going to.
No, I want, like, Aquaman is the seahorse that will mount the world in this movie.
The dude is probably going to jet ski on some sharks.
I
mean, that's
want
going to
it.
happen, and I do want that. I want that silliness, like, from Aquaman is kind of a silly character. He's not silly like he's funny, haha, or stupid, or like clowny, but he's silly because, you know, that's like he'll just have a whole shit ton of sharks just go dismantle an entire battleship or something. That's cool.
Grant Morrison and the Injustice game, they kind of showed you what Aquaman could be.
Absolutely.
And now with Grant being kind of taking the reins on behind the scenes, this Aquaman is. I can't wait for his movie.
And
Absolutely. This trailer sold me on a movie that isn't even this.
Right.
It sold me on Jason Momoa as Aquaman. And the thing that I was really it was kind of a weird casting, because I was totally expecting them to go somebody like, I don't know, I was really expecting like blonde and clean face.
Because
like
you're
Ryan
expecting
Gosling
the
type.
classic Aquaman, the orange gimmick and the green tights, and
I mean, I don't want to tie anything to Game of Thrones here, but you know, Khal Drogo is one of the most memorable parts to Game of Thrones. If you ever watch his if you ever watch Momoa's casting, if you ever watch that casting video, like, he owns that role.
Yeah.
And I feel like he owns that role very similar to how he kind of owned Conan. Like, Conan could have been a better movie. But
he's getting his
he was
redo from
Conan's
Conan.
man. Yeah.
Conan should have been the movie that, like, oh, this is Jason Momoa,
Absolutely.
hear him roar, and that went away and did whatever. I think this is his redemption. This is going to be the movie that, like, we know Jason Momoa's name because
Absolutely.
he's the awesome version of Roman Reigns, and I love him for it.
In his
Believe
defense,
that.
you know, Conan wasn't a bad movie. Conan wasn't a bad movie because of Jason Momoa. Actually, as a matter of fact, the most watchable parts are because of him.
Well,
it's a bad movie.
It's just like we talked about Superman Returns. That movie's not a problem because of Brandon Routh.
Yeah.
The only thing that I think people could see as a negative from this is there being two Flashes, just with the TV show being as
The TV
popular
show
as
being
it
so
is.
good.
But that everybody who reads comics knows how to separate stuff. I mean, you know,
We're
followed
not.
Batman
America's not
and-
dumb.
Yeah.
Like, we're really not.
It's like, well, we have the DC animated universe, we have video game universe. There's so many different. It's like what
Absolutely.
flavor of DC do you want?
Mhm.
So I feel like some of the backlash that Ezra Miller is getting just because he's not Grant Gustin is just unwarranted. But at the same time, I'm just like, maybe if he would have been Wally West, it wouldn't have been so bad. But
Yeah.
maybe that's just one of those things. But
I
at the
don't
end
make
of
that cop out though. Like I
Yeah.
feel
I
like
really
that's
think
gonna
for
be a
the
cop-out,
Justice
though.
League, I feel you have to go like, no, we got to lay it out.
It's got to be Barry.
That's why, like, when Green Lantern finally shows up, it's got to be Hal.
yeah.
Like, you can have the other characters, like, they're going to call it Green Lantern Corps. So I have a feeling you're going to get Hal, you're going to get Kyle, you're probably going to get Guy, you're probably going to get all the main 4 Green Lanterns.
Mm-hmm.
But I think, like, no, you have to go with the iconic characters up front. And say, like, no, we're busting in. In a world where you're 8 years behind Marvel, you have to bust
You have
in.
to bring all your cards to the table.
I mean,
You
I
got to
think-
make an impact.
I mean, from the trailer they did.
Yeah.
I mean,
No.
absolutely.
I mean,
It's my-
easily the best trailer we saw in the last day.
Yeah, I can't. It's one of the best trailers. Like, as far as pumping me up and getting me, like, I can't wait for this movie. It's one of the best trailers I have ever seen.
That probably the close second would be the Suicide Squad trailer. It's just because of that feel that they have. It's like the Suicide Squad is promoting. You can tell it's promoting the Suicide Squad. This movie is clearly promoting the Justice League. It's not a movie within a movie to build another movie.
Yeah.
I feel
This
like
is the Justice League.
There's equal ground. I feel like they went equal ground because
Mm-hmm.
the Flash has a really good moment from the trailer.
Mhm.
Batman has a really good moment from the trailer. Wonder Woman
Cyborg's a little-
Cyborg is the only underrepresented one.
But we got
Woman's
Wonder
kind of-
Woman in Batman Superman. She
Yeah.
had her hero shots in Batman Superman.
She's getting her own movie.
She's getting her own movie.
That's pretty cool that they beat Marvel to the table with the first female-led movie.
And that's
So let's go ahead and jump into that.
Yeah, absolutely.
The next one up, Wonder Woman. Justice League kind of overshadowed it a little bit. I know I saw Justice League first, and then Wonder Woman.
See, it was funny. I loaded up the trailer for Justice League, and the ad that played on YouTube
Was Wonder Woman.
Because I was like, why is this a 3-minute ad? And I realized, oh, this is the trailer.
Oh,
for
that's
Wonder Woman.
awesome.
So I actually watched the trailer for Wonder Woman straight into
The ads
Justice
you
League.
don't mind on YouTube, absolutely.
But absolutely, you're right. Beat Marvel to it because Marvel just now announced that Brie Larson is going to be
And they're-
Captain Marvel. It's the first female-led movie that they're going to have, and that's going to be at least 2 or 3 years.
Yeah,
down
I
the
think they're
line.
in talks with bringing Joss Whedon back to do a Black Widow movie.
But
They
again,
were talking
we're
about that
years
today.
down the line,
Yeah.
and it's like, no, we're going second movie or third movie out of the box with the new DC universe. Woman-led, woman-directed.
Probably, I mean, undeniably the most iconic female character in comic history.
Absolutely, the prototype
Yeah,
female
Actually,
character.
I think going forward, Wonder Woman becomes an incredibly important film. It's a milestone
Mhm.
because, women are underrepresented in the hero genre. I mean, they just absolutely are. And they're underrepresented in the comic book genre. It's Wonder Woman. I'll kind of put on the same kind of scale as Harley Quinn. People are incredibly excited because Harley Quinn and Margot Robbie is obviously going to do a fantastic job there, but Wonder Woman, I think everybody was worried. Like I remember seeing the first concept shot.
I know I
and it
was.
like that's green screen. But when I saw the trailer, I really do feel like they wanted to do that justice. They did do it justice. No pun intended. But it's an important film going forward because this is the hero that women actually deserve to be on a film. An independent woman who is not tied to any single person. Absolutely, don't you Beyonce? Don't you
I
Beyonce?
don't know
me.
what was happening.
That might actually be a blessing.
You had
Robbie!
That was Jamie.
That was-
Jamie
I
does
feel
not like
early.
Harley nowadays, apparently. Oh man, she's saying.
Basically, it's an important film. It's an absolutely
Okay.
important film for women going forward. I actually don't want to project on that, but I do feel like you've gotten away from the objectification. Black Widow was one thing, but like when people think Black Widow, they think, oh, Scarlett Johansson's hot.
Well, she was presented that way in Iron Man 2.
Absolutely.
When you first see her, it's like Tony's like, I want one.
Yeah.
I want, and then you get you finally get her action shots, but even before that, you've got her driving. Happy's driving her down the road, and she's like undressing and putting on her Scarlet Witch or Black Widow gear. Yeah, wrong one.
This is weird.
She's putting on her Black Widow gear, and you're getting bra shots and stuff like that. It's an objectification. It's sexualizing that thing. Batman Superman never sexualized Wonder Woman.
And every time, like, I know she wasn't used a whole lot in that movie. Like, I haven't got around to the director's cut yet. I will admit that. But from what I saw, in the movie theater, I don't know how it was in Florida when you saw it, but me and Jamie were in the same theater when Wonder Woman showed up. There wasn't the theater erupted.
Well,
everyone was cheering for this scene.
She
just shows up and like the crowd went nuts.
I show my kids when I'm teaching class, because they all know I'm a nerd. I show them all the new trailers. That's how we start class. If there's a new trailer that came out that day, I'd start class by showing them the new trailer. When the Batman Superman trailer came out that showed Wonder Woman, I'm sitting there with a class, and it's a pretty good split, men and women. Juniors, I remember showing it to them, so 16, 17, 18 years old. They get through the shot, and then there's the, Batman does he covers up, and then you have Wonder Woman blocking the thing. My classroom erupted. In literal cheers.
Yeah, that's awesome.
When Wonder Woman showed up. They are, and I know for a fact, a lot of the girls that I was teaching down there, were really into Suicide Squad because of Harley.
Mm-hmm.
Really into, it is now the time, and we covered it a little bit with Ghostbusters in the episode where we covered Ghostbusters. You're getting to the point where you can have these women characters, and they're no longer the damsels in distress. They're the heroes.
Yeah.
Wonder Woman saves Batman in that movie. Yeah. And the women, the young girls, and I'm not gonna lie, me, a 34-year-old man, cheered when Wonder Woman showed up. Because the last time I got to see Wonder Woman on screen was... What the hell was that?
Don't know.
But the last time I got to see Wonder Woman on screen was Linda Carter,
Yeah.
And now we're seeing this awesome new Wonder Woman who, it was funny because when people were first talking about it, it was oh, she's too small, she's not badass enough. She was an Israeli soldier.
Yeah, typically, it was also typical criticism. It was actually kind of the misogynistic.
Well, her boobs weren't big enough to be Wonder Woman.
She's not the first comment I ever read, when she was cast, Gal Gadot. I think I'm saying her name right.
It is.
When she was actually cast, the first comment I think I read on YouTube is she's not as hot as so and so, and I'm like, why the fuck does that matter? Why does that matter? She's beautiful. She's absolutely beautiful. Absolutely, there's no. Wonder Woman, it's not. It's obviously Wonder Woman is very attractively drawn. That's just she has a look about her, but that doesn't matter to Wonder Woman because the core of Wonder Woman is she's a leader. She's a good person. She's a moral compass for she is a moral. We talked about. Moral compasses. She is the moral compass for the Justice League. She's the one that keeps the peace. That's what she does. Yep. She literally has a lasso of truth. That happens. She's this hero, and she is not dependent on the other ones. She is an accessory to, they're all accessories of each other.
Right.
But there's not a single person that kind of controls the group dynamic, maybe more so than her. Because she does kind of mediate between them. She's the one that kind of separates the emotional connections between, her and she's friends with them. We talked about the friends dynamic. But Wonder Woman is a very important core part of that. And I think a lot of the criticism that I see about Wonder Woman is I think people are just flat out offended because they have a really intelligent actress who's really smart, kind of gets the role, who actually gets the role. And that she's actually succeeding in it.
Yeah. Well, it's the first thing I guess I saw her in was the Fast and Furious movies.
Yeah, that's the only thing I know her from.
I loved her in those movies. It's, again, that's one of those things. She
She's
wasn't there a lot, but when she was there, it mattered. And, I like those movies.
How dare they make well-written characters that are female? What is this?
I think it's kind of cool, too, because, with Wonder Woman, it doesn't matter where you come into the story with her. Right. It's always different. There's always a jumping off point. So much so I think it's kind of referenced in the trailer when Steven Tyler. Right, that's not his name, is it? That's a dude from Aerosmith.
The dude from Aerosmith. The dude from Aerosmith.
Yeah, man, we are just
Steve Trevor.
We have a very weird combination of characters, Trevor, right?
We started trying to dream on.
Yeah, dream on. Maybe that's the song they should use in this trailer. But anyway, when Trevor shows up and she's talking to him about the there wasn't a father.
Right.
It's like, okay, well, they're going with this story of, she was created by Zeus, and, there's just different origins for Wonder Woman.
And most people, I would argue, don't know Wonder Woman's origin.
Yeah, there was an episode of, I think it may have been Fat Man on Batman or something I was listening to, and they were talking about that like years ago. It's like, hey, everybody can get behind the Wonder Woman character, but if you ask them that, it's like, well, where did she come from? I don't know.
The whole created by clay, given birth by Zeus. Like, yeah, most people don't understand her character. And I had a friend a couple years ago tell me, it's like, I don't understand why they can't make this movie. And it's very awesome that Zack Snyder is the one creating her first couple forays into the cinematic universe. Because one of my buddies told me, he goes, all you got to do is put Wonder Woman in the Leonidas role in 300, and you have a Wonder Woman movie.
Wow. I never thought about that, but wow.
I mean, she's steeped in Greek mythology. She's the leader of the Amazons. Like, it really is, and it's so awesome that they're finally giving her.
Well, I guess going back to that, I guess my introduction to Wonder Woman, other than just knowing of her, was when I actually sat down, got into it, and I watched the DC animated movie.
Oh,
I learned a lot more about her backstory, and I really
the one
enjoyed
Kerry Russell as Wonder Woman.
Yeah,
yes.
and Nathan Fillion is in that also.
Mm-hmm.
He's not singing any Aerosmith songs, but he's in that.
Well,
Nathan Fillion singing Aerosmith songs.
Can you do that?
Can you, Nathan? Are you out there, listening, Captain? Sing me "Dream On," and I will die happy.
be on our show, please.
Please be on our show, Captain.
My introduction to Wonder Woman was the Linda Carter. I mean, it was
Right.
the
I
old
remember
school.
2-3 years old. That was the
Yeah.
first hero I saw on live TV.
Well, they used
Her
to
and
have,
Daisy Duke made me a teenager at 3 years old.
Yeah.
I was just. Last one that we have on the Warner Brothers front is Lego Batman. Batman was Will Arnett's Batman was clearly the standout from the Lego movie. Now he gets his own movie. When I was first heard about it, I was like, really? Are we going to, is he going to be able to sustain his whole movie? We've seen a couple trailers. The new one unveiled Michael Cera's Robin. What do you think about it?
Well, it's like I was saying, you have different flavors of Batman. So it's like even during the Christian Bale run, you had the Brave and the Bold TV show. So it's like you had two different things. Like, whichever you can pick and choose, whichever you want to watch. Lego Batman clearly falls in that same, kind of area as Brave and the Bold. It's just fun little something extra that's just kind of there for everybody to have fun with.
Absolutely.
I totally agree. I think I think it hit all the right notes, like tonally. The Lego movie's rewatchable. You can watch it 100 different times, and the jokes don't really get old. I mean, it's really funny. It's well written. Batman definitely steals the show there. I think in the trailer, it's funny. I mean, it is funny. The jokes are
it's
getting
really
old.
funny.
I'm very interested to see what Zach Galifianakis is going to do with the role of the Joker.
Yeah.
Really interested in seeing how that's going to go down, because it's funny without him. Are we going to have like a really crazy Batman Joker dynamic, or are we going to have this kind of offshoot? What's the Joker going to do? Like have a midlife crisis in the Lego movie?
And Jokers, especially Jokers that are voiceover Jokers, there's always that new, because Mark Hamill set the bar so high with Joker voiceover. Anytime there's a new Joker, it's always like, and I'll be the first to admit, Zach Galifianakis is not somebody I would immediately have went to for the Joker.
I feel like he's got range though. Like, I mean, he's obviously, he keeps getting cast as the dude from The Hangover.
Yeah.
But I really do feel like, I've seen, he's got a lot more than that. He does have some range, and I feel like that. I think he'll do it justice. I mean, Mark Hamill is the bar. Like,
Right.
He's not even setting it. He's building the whole damn set.
Yeah. It's just actually Mark Hamill lengthwise.
It's like you buy a ticket to the Mark Hamill show. It's kind of like the Gun show, but with more laughter.
Yes. And one less hand.
Yes. And he's kind of a bitch for two streets before you get to the third one where he's a badass.
The one thing that stuck out to me, I'm a big fan of a serious Robin. I really like the idea of a Robin that can stand almost, right beside Batman. this one getting that very almost annoying Robin. I mean, it's Michael Cera. They're definitely playing it a very certain way. It's almost like the Jonah Hill Green Lantern from the Lego movie, the Green Lantern that nobody wants to be around.
He's not in the Justice League.
Yeah. But I think it's one of those things that works. It's a kids movie. It's definitely aimed for kids. I think it looks funny. The Lego movie was definitely a kids movie, but it could hit that kid in all of us. Lego, and you look at the box on Lego. Legos are from ages like 4 to 99, man. And yeah, I mean, behind me is this wonderful Lego thing. I've got tons of other stuff. I'm a huge Lego fan. I can't wait for it.
Yeah. Cool.
All right, so that wraps up our DC Warner Brothers slate. Join us next time when we talk about our DC television. So for this quick episode, I'm Shane.
Robbie.
Jamie?
And we'll see you next time.